Well, starting with how Janet and I became friends, that was really, and you know, that saying, when one door closes, another one opens. It was one of those moments. I was part of a group called the LA City Rockers, and Paula Abdul was a friend of ours before. She was, the head labor girl at that particular time. This is before she worked with Janet and all that. And she had called Terry Dixon and said that Michael wanted to meet us. And so we were to go, this was like we were going to meet him on Wednesday morning at like 9:15, 9:30. It was Tuesday night. La Hot Club was happening in the Valley. I mean, that was like the dance spot. So she told us to not say anything to anybody because it was a private audition. She didn't tell us what the private audition was about. And so instead of doing the smart thing and going home and resting up to meet the future king of pop, we went out to the hot club and got down all night. It was just nuts. So, and of course we started telling people. And, so the next morning, I mean, we felt it. We were tired and just, we weren't in, get down gear or anything. We just dressed really nicely. And so we met some of the brothers. I think it was Jackie was there, Marlon was there, and LaToya was there. And we were just hanging out in this one particular room. I'm not going to tell you the whole story, but we were hanging out in this room, and all of a sudden, I look around to my left. I was closest to the entryway. And I looked to my left and I didn't really see anything. And then all of a sudden, my body, I mean, I can't even imitate what happened. I didn't hear anything, I didn't see anything, but I just whipped to the left, like I had no control over my body. About 4 seconds later, Michael walks into the room. His presence entered the room before I even saw him. I'm telling you. It was one of the most profound moments ever in my life. And so he comes walking into the room and everybody's doing this. Except for the family. But I look at Jackie and he kind of had this smirk on his face like, yeah, it happens all the time. And he sits down and there's this big floral arrangement. Michael was like right across from me. There's this big floral arrangement kind of blocking the view a little bit. He sits down, drops his head. How's everybody doing? And all of a sudden, the rest of the LA City Rockers and I, we just started stumbling our voices over one another. It was just a bunch of gibberish. So, long story short, and I did get to hold the Billie Jean glove and the Billie Jean shoes, by the way. Yes, I did. And he had film footage of us dancing on INLA on TV. He goes like, wow, who are these guys? And we looked like, wow, that's us. So he had been peeping us out, obviously. So anyway, as we left the house, we were just leaving out of the kitchen, leaving the house, and the door opens, and Janet walks in. And I was like one of the first ones to see her, and I'm like, hi. She didn't say anything. She was just, who's in my house? And then after her, this girl walks in, and it was a friend of ours, like, Melanie, like Mel. And Janet goes, she's like, well, how does she know those guys? Well, 2 weeks later, Renee had gotten a call from Melanie that Janet wanted to meet us, and she wanted us to come over to the house and dance for it because Melanie had told her about the group. And so Renee and I went over, we danced and met her. She was really sweet, and that was it. And we became friends, and she started to see how I created and how I danced as a dancer. And one thing led to another. She was doing the Grammy Awards. They had casted all the dancers, but there was this one guy who just didn't have the feeling that they were looking for. And they called me in with a day of rehearsal left and said, we want you to come and do it, do the show. Went in, did the show. No mistakes. The rest is history, people. Hey.